Salzburg is an Austrian city on the border of Germany, with views of the Eastern Alps. The city is divided by the Salzach River, with medieval and Baroque buildings of the pedestrian Altstadt, Old City, on its left bank, facing the 19th century Neustadt, New City, on its right. The Altstadt birthplace of famed composer Mozart is preserved as a museum displaying his childhood instruments. Salzburg, the birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, is dominated by churches, castles and palaces. Its picturesque old town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Hohensalzburg Fortress is enthroned on the Festungsberg, high above the rooftops of the Baroque Historical District, the biggest fully preserved castle in Central Europe. This emblem of Salzburg draws millions of tourists to our city of Mozart every year. Thanks to the Festungsbahn, making your way up to Hohensalzburg Fortress couldn't be easier. In just 54 seconds, this modern funicular transports you to the most popular sightseeing attraction in Salzburg. The history of Hohensalzburg Fortress. In the year 1077, Archbishop Gebhard had the fortress built and thus changed the Salzburg skyline forever. In the years which followed, his successors drove ongoing development of the fortress architecture. The complex acquired the appearance we recognize today under Archbishop Leonhard von Kuejich in 1500. The original purpose of the fortress was to protect the principality and the archbishops from hostile attacks. In all of these years, it has never been captured by foreign troops. The Getreidegasse is the bustling heart of Salzburg's old city, its unmistakable charm as well as Mozart's birthplace making it an irresistible destination for countless visitors from around the world. Aside from an array of international fashion chains, the Getreidegasse also charms passers-by with its traditional inns and unique businesses steeped in history. The Getreidegasse, a street for pleasant strolls and shopping expeditions above all, the Getreidegasse draws visitors with its wide selection of international fashion chains, traditional shops and a broad range of dining opportunities. Aside from jewelry, folkwear, trendy accessories, antiquities, leather goods, stationery and perfume shops, avid shoppers can also pick up groceries and daily products in the Getreidegasse. A particular highlight of this street are its ornamental and often quite elaborate gilt signs protruding from the building facades, high above pedestrians' heads. The Weber shop in the Getreidegasse is a traditional metalworking business which, among other things, still manufactures these advertising signs by hand. The architecture of the Getreidegasse. The architecture of the houses in the Getreidegasse is characterized by beautiful doorways, as well as by windows that become steadily smaller from the first floor up. In addition, the old houses are often decorated with important dates in their history, the names of former owners and even the Eye of God. Yet another magnet for visitors is Mozart's birthplace, which stands at number 9 Getreidegasse. Salzburg's immortal wunderkind was born here back in 1756. 5 squares were built under Prince Archbishop Wolf Dietrich von Ravenau. Residence Square with its richly decorated Baroque fountain is probably the largest and most beautiful square. 55 medieval buildings were torn down to make room for the square. Residence Square was designed according to the Mannerist plans of the Italian architect, Vincenzo Scamozzi. Residence Fountain is considered to be the most beautiful fountain in the city of Salzburg and certainly deserves a closer look. 4 snorting horses seem to spring forth from the spouting rock. Giants rooted in the rock carry the lower basin, in which 3 dolphins balance the scalloped upper basin. The upper basin holds a tridon, a jet of water shooting into the air from his conch shell trumpet. Archbishop Guido Baltune, a fountain enthusiast, commissioned the fountain to be built. It is considered to be one of the most significant Baroque monuments in Europe today. The work is attributed to the Italian sculptor, Tommaso di Girone. For fans of the Hollywood movie The Sound of Music, Residenzplatz is yet another highlight. During their carriage ride through the city, Maria and the children sing as they pass the residence fountain. 27 January 1756, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is born in the Hagenauer House, number 9 Getreidegasse, in Salzburg. In autumn 1773, the family moves into the house on Hannibelplatz, now known as the Mozart residence, whose address today is number 8 Makartplatz. The Coronation Opera first performed in Prague on September 6, 1791. Shortly after the premiere P.F. The Magic Flute, K620, at the Friedhof Theater in Vienna, Mozart falls ill. He dies in Vienna on December 5, 1791 at the age of 35 from an extreme miliary fever. His Requiem K626 remains uncompleted. Mirabelle Gardens, Baroque pleasure gardens in the heart of the city. Mirabelle Gardens were completely redesigned under Archbishop Johann Ernst von Thun in 1690. The underlying geometric form, which is typical for the Baroque, is still clearly recognizable. The visual orientation towards the cathedral and fortress adds to the grandeur of the gardens, simultaneously incorporating them into the overall historical ensemble of the city. The Rose Garden with its ornamental rose beds is located directly south of Schloss Mirabelle. Located around the Grand Fountain, the Fountain Pool, are 4 groups of figures by Ottavio Mosto, 1690. They symbolize the 4 elements: fire, air, earth and water. The Pegasus Fountain, featuring a sculpture of a horse, Pegasus, is a work by Caspar Grass from Innsbruck and was installed in 1913. Mirabelle Gardens is one of the most important shooting locations from the famous Hollywood musical The Sound of Music. In the film, Maria and the children dance around the Pegasus Fountain in front of the palace, singing the song Do Re Mi. The Dwarf Garden originated during the rule of Archbishop Franz Antoine I Harrach. It originally consisted of 28 dwarves, nowadays 17, made from white Untersberger marble and is the oldest of its kind in Europe. Picturesquely situated Schloss Leopoldskron lies just a few minutes' walk from the Salzburg historical district, the world-famous former family seat of one of the Prince Archbishops, as well as an original shooting location from the movie The Sound of Music. Residence of the Prince Archbishop in 1736, Salzburg. Prince Archbishop Leopold Anton Freiherr von Firmien built Schloss Leopoldskron as the family residence. Standing right next to the beautiful Leopoldskron Pond, it captivates with panoramic views of the surrounding mountain world. Because of his special ties to the palace, the Prince Archbishop had his heart interred in the chapel of Schloss Leopoldskron. Schloss Leopoldskron as a movie set since 1965, Schloss Leopoldskron has been well known far beyond Austria's borders as an original shooting location for the world-famous movie The Sound of Music.